Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland Adishtikas, and welcome to this math review lesson. Today's lesson, multiplication. Welcome in. Today we're going to focus on two-digit by two-digit multiplication. And I'm going to start with the problem 35 times 7. World's biggest time sign, isn't it? And you're wondering, Meister Ireland, that's only one digit. You're right. I want you to see a pattern here in a moment. What we have here is a ones column and a tens column. So I'm going to begin in the ones column, and I have 7 times 5, which I know is 35. But I cannot put a 35 in this bin. I can put a 5, and I can regroup three groups of 10 over here into the tens place. Now my next step is I'm going to multiply this 1 by this 10, and that's 3. 7 times 3 is 21. And then I have 21 groups of 10 plus 3 more groups of 10, which is 24 groups of 10. Oh, but alas, we are not done. So let's get the second problem here. So I'm going 35 times 27. Again, 7 times 5 is 35. I put a 5 in the ones place, and I'm going to regroup 3 tens over here. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24. Oops, I don't want it quite that big. Now this 2 here is not a 2. It's actually a 20 because it's 2 groups of 10. And because it's 2 groups of 10, I could really say this is 35 times 2 times 10 instead of going times 20, which allows me to put a 0 here at that times 10. Now I'm going to take this 2 and I'm going to multiply it by the 5 up here because it's in the ones place. So 2 times 5 is 10. 0, and I'm going to put a 1 up here because I have one group of 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And now I'm going to do adding. At this point, everything above this line right here is done. I'm simply going to add 245, which is 35 times 7, and 700, which is 35 times 20. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 7 is 9. 945. For students who are looking at this, say, Mr. I, 35 times 27, those are big numbers. But they're not. If you are paying close attention, I multiplied 7 times 5. I multiplied 7 times 3. I multiplied 2 times 5, and I multiplied 2 times 3, all of which are math facts that you may already know in your head or have easy access to. Beyond that, it's just a standard algorithm. So let's do one more. Let's do 52 times 34. I'm going to start here. So my first problem is 4 times 2, which is 8. Nothing to regroup. And now I'm going to take this and go 4 times 5, which is 20. So I put a 0 in the tens and a 2 in the hundreds. So now it's 4 times 2 and 4 times 5. Now I forget about that 4. And I'm going to go 52 times 3 times 10. So I'm going to put a 0 here for that 10. And now I take this number, 3 times 2 is 6. That makes sense because 30 times 2 is 60. And 3 times 5 is 15. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 6 is 6. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 0 is 1. My answer is 1,768. And because I was just going 4 times 2, 4 times 5, 3 times 2, and 3 times 5, it was much more manageable than looking at it as 52 times 34. What I'm going to ask of you today is to practice using the worksheet at hand or the Google form if you're working from home. If completing the Google form, it's important that you take the time to hand work the problems and just type in your answers. Trying to guess at answers is not going to benefit you in this situation. If you're in class, you'll turn in the paper into the bin. If you have questions, please do reach out to me. Hope everyone enjoys this lesson. Have a minute, Gijigad. Minwa, Mama P.